Our next story is from Ecuador. The country has fallen to cocaine gangsters. It all started on Tuesday when masked gunmen stormed a television studio. The invasion was broadcast live for about 20 minutes. To the astonishment of the viewers, the TC television network studio was taken over. 13 men burst into that studio during a live broadcast with long-range guns, grenades and dynamites. Men dressed in black and wielding guns accosted staffers huddling on the floor. Gunshots and yelling were heard before the police commandos arrived to rescue the terrified TV studio staff. The 13 attackers were arrested. Their explosives and guns were confiscated. The police showed images of the men kneeling with their hands zip-tied. The channel was back on air for its evening news broadcast. The anchors reported that the Attorney General's office was on the site to collect the evidence. The incident followed the kidnappings of at least 7 police officers and a series of explosions. This a day after the President, Daniel Noboa, declared a state of emergency there. A string of violent incidents unfolded in the country on Tuesday. Explosions, looting, gunfire were reported across the country. Just hours after the TV studio was attacked, President Daniel Noboa sent a message to the citizens on Instagram. He vowed not to rest until he brings back peace. He announced his commitment to confronting the rising crime rates. But this wave of attacks paints a complex picture of the challenges that he faces. The flare-up started on Sunday. Notorious gang leader and drug lord Adolfo Macias, or Fito, escaped from prison. He is the head of Los Choneros, which is believed to have been one of the first Ecuadorian gangs to forge ties with Mexican drug cartels. On Sunday, during a sweep for contraband, Fito was found to be missing from his cell. He had been serving a 34-year sentence for drug trafficking and other crimes. Like other gang leaders in Ecuador, he was running his criminal empire from behind bars. And experts believe that as many as a quarter of the country's prisons are controlled by gangs. After his escape from prison on Sunday, incidents of violence were reported in at least 6 prisons. And by Tuesday, violence spread to the streets. President Noboa, who has said that he will not negotiate with quote-unquote the terrorists, said that the violence is a reaction to his government's plans to build a new high-security prison for the jailed gang leaders. Noboa has declared a 60-day state of emergency. In an updated decree, he declared an internal armed conflict in Ecuador. The president also identified several criminal gangs as terrorist groups, including Los Choneros. Later this year, Noboa plans to hold a security-focused plebiscite. It will include asking the public if the government should undo the ban on the extradition of the Ecuadorians wanted abroad, and if asset seizures from suspected criminals should be allowed.